hello, everybody. It is your girl, Jamie Drew, with the girlfriendexperience.org. And we're back to chit chat with you. Get right in the room and join us because tonight, listen, it's Thursday night. It's time to unwind, start the weekend. And we have a special guest with us tonight. You know it. We're talking about nutrition with my favorite clinical dietitian. Okay, we're going to be talking about same house, different diets. Okay. I did a few posts about this. I know some of you all have this going on. Your kids, your spouses. Let's see how to handle it in your own household. Everybody, please help me in welcoming my sister, clinical dietitian, Mrs. Kayla Hopkins.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
I am doing great. How you doing, sis?
Good. Doing good.
Well, we're going to talk about, of course, your thing, nutrition, food. I always like to call you a food doctor. Hey, you got the RD behind your name. All you have to do is switch it around to DR, right?
Very true. Very true.
Hey, you're like, it's not that simple, okay?
Hey, couple extra years, couple extra 8 years.
Yes.
Hey.
So, one of the things, we're talking about nutrition, which means that we're going to be talking about health and everything. And, a lot of people, when they want to get on this health kick, they've got to get the other people on board within their household, right? Yeah. So for many people, that is a difficult thing. So I know you're doing it. And you're a professional eater. I don't what kind of stuff is that? I don't know. But how are you doing it in your own household with your own husband, your own family? Help a sister out.
Well, I'm just going to start by saying my husband is sort of agreeable. So let's just start like that. I kind of control the food that comes and goes in the house. Now, I try to do it in a nice way, but there are some certain strategies that I've tried to implement to help kind of the train runs smoothly, so to speak, in the house with healthy eating. So, when we got married, I was not a dietitian. I was not in the medical field. We were eating whatever we wanted to, and there was no thinking about it. So there definitely has been some changes. And I've adapted these strategies that we'll talk about, right? That kind of can help other people to implement a healthier lifestyle in their household, especially if certain people in their household are not immediately on board.
Okay, so before we really get into it, let's just establish a couple of things here. Okay. What is your diet? Do you have a title to it? And what is your husband's diet? Does he have a title to it? Let's start there.
Okay, so my diet, I guess I identify as a pescatarian. So
what is a pescatarian? Let everybody know.
Okay, so a pescatarian is when you eat only fish and shellfish and basically seafood. So I avoid chicken, beef, pork, all of those things. But most of the time I end up just being a vegetarian. But usually when I'm out, I'll have some salmon or some shrimp or things like that. Or sometimes I bring it in the house. My husband, however, he's on a seafood diet as well. He sees food and he eats it.
I was getting ready to say, wait a minute. I didn't know my brother-in-law was a pescatarian too.
He will eat anything that I put in front of him or that anyone puts in front of him, which is a blessing and a curse, right? Yeah. So he will kind of go along with all of my different concoctions in the kitchen, but he will also go places that are not that great. So he doesn't follow any sort of diet. He likes to work out and he just likes to eat, basically.
Okay. So, we got other males agreeing with us. Juan says, that's my diet too. Yeah. Okay. So you are a pescatarian and your husband eats whatever.
Yes.
So now let's go into it, because you said that you started to, you said before you became a dietitian, you were just eating whatever. Okay. So you're a regular you actually are a regular person like the rest of us.
Oh yeah. Like we would like pull up to Sonic at like 1:00 in the morning like it wasn't nothing. Like,
Midnight runs.
yeah, midnight run. Like, yeah, exactly. So now there's a little bit more thought that goes into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what made you like, okay, you're in college eating whatever. What made you go into this transition of, now we're going to eat healthy, babe? I mean, was it the education that you were getting? What?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. You can't unknow something. That's like my motto. So once I started getting the education and I started learning about different, basically just diseases that are associated with different ways of eating or different aspects of food that are more commonly associated with disease, especially in the Black community. I mean, they say that we have high this, high that. And, once I'm taught that in my schooling to be a dietitian, I was like, okay, well, we need to kind of get our act together. So that education, yes, is what sparked the diet change. And then I kind of had to ease him into it from there.
So how long ago was that? How long have you guys been on this journey of merging your eating habits?
Well, remember, you and I went vegan like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? You're still vegan.
Yeah.
I have had my own kind of journey with it.
Yeah.
So 5 years ago, I think, was the start of, okay, we're going to eat differently than other people.
Okay.
So his family had to adjust. Our family had to adjust. As you know, not everybody liked that way of eating. So I think time has definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, when my diet has changed from basically vegan, vegetarian to pescatarian, he's kind of just adapted along the way. So
okay.
Years ago is when it really started. And once I finished my schooling, I realized a couple things about just kind of meeting people where they are. When it comes to diet, trying not to be too harsh on anyone's certain dietary habits and just kind of working with it to eat the healthiest diet that you possibly can. So that's when I started making more modifications.
Okay, so tell me about step one. Let's get into this, because a lot of people that are watching this, maybe just starting their journey, maybe don't have the education. Take us all the way back to when you were first learning, before you got the letters behind your name, when you're just starting to implement this. How are you doing it?
Well, it's hard. I'm just going to start with that. It's not something that we definitely did overnight. And I've definitely had like some slip ups where I go backwards and eat things that I didn't intend to. But I think focusing on what's important, focusing on the health benefits, I think that is what helped me change my eating and my husband change our eating. And I think that, other people that are watching this in your household, I think that is what's going to be a good motivator. You wanting to be healthier, feel healthier, have more energy to hang out with your kids and go out and walk around and things like that. So that's where it really began, just wanting to feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So step one, how do you convince somebody who's seeing everything and eating everything to move in your direction?
Yeah, so one of the main step I think I started with was just leading by example. So that's first off. So you kind of have to have discipline, which is hard, to start the process off, and not necessarily have to be broadcasted. You can just kind of gradually choose grilled instead of fried, choose baked instead of fried, those type of things, just like slowly easing it in and just saying, this is the way that I'm going to eat, and I'm not really changing it. So everyone else in the house, either you eat what I have. I mean, I hate to be like that, but either you eat what I have or like you kind of make something yourself. So, I don't know. That is the first step, leading by example, remembering why you're on the health journey that you're on.
Yeah.
And can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I can hear you great. Thumbs up if you can hear us. Great. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know. Sound check.
I just wanted to double check on that because.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
So I heard you mention, okay, you said leading by example, but I did hear you mention, not necessarily announcing it. So you mean like, I put on Facebook, okay, starting now, this is my day 1 of 30 days or 21 days vegan, or I'm going on a diet, everybody. Are you advising against, broadcasting your diet plan?
Well, it depends on what motivates you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type of person that as soon as I announce something, all of a sudden it's pressure.
Yeah.
Can't finish it. I'm kind of like a silent mover, So it depends
Okay.
on you, the individual, and what motivates you to make a behavior change. If you like having that accountability and broadcasting it, yeah, do it.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I gotta be like, hey, everybody, I'm doing this just in case I slip back.
Yeah.
Let me know. I need rules. I need boundaries.
Yes. Virgo. Yes. I totally agree.
A certain way. I can't help it.
Yeah. Whatever works for you and just gets you gets the job done. Whatever gets the job done is fine. So if that's saying, hey, everyone on Facebook, I'm starting a healthy journey and I'm going to go on some walks, or I'm going to go to the gym a couple times a week, or I'm going to try to eat more plant-based, or I'm going to try to eliminate takeout, just whatever helps. Either you move silently or announce it, whatever helps for you. But for me personally, I don't know, now that I think of it, I think I did a combination of both,
Mm-hmm.
But in our household, I think I just kind of like brought things in and just hope for the best, honestly. So that kind of brings me to my next point about introducing new things. So whenever you're adopting a healthier way of eating, it's not, I think a lot of times people get it wrong with wanting to restrict, take away. I don't like taking things away. People already think dietitians are the food police, right? So I never want to be like that. And I want to work on expanding the diet, introducing new things that taste good.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was one of the things that you and I talked about when we first went vegan. It's like, wow, oh my gosh, like all these different fruits, they're so sweet. They taste so good. All these different
things. I had no idea like what was even out there. Like, wait a minute, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, like, wait a minute, mango? Like, since when was mango Kit Kat and Snickers? Like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, even things, like substitutes and stuff. I know me, I was like, well, what is a jackfruit? Or wait a minute, you can make mushrooms taste like fried chicken? Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of stuff out there. So introducing things that you know that your family members already like, and building on that with the healthier option is another thing that I think that I did in our household that helped a lot. So for example, my husband, Demetrius, your brother-in-law, he does not like fruit. Okay. So it's always
I did not know that. I didn't realize that.
No, he doesn't like fruit. He'll eat it in a smoothie. Like if I give him a smoothie or if he goes to Smoothie King, he'll eat it, but he will not eat fruit. So I, of course, as a dietitian, I'm like, okay, this is a challenge. We're going to see what we can do to make you eat fruit. So I'm thinking of all the different things. So it's so as you can see, like it's kind of a little bit of work that goes into it. Like this is why you really have to commit to this diet change. It'll pay off in the end because you will push back. But basically we found watermelon. I know that he'll eat watermelon. I know that he'll eat grapes, and I know that he'll eat the occasional banana. And I'm good with that. I don't push anything else, but I know if he needs to eat some fruit, those are the things that I'll grab for him.
So what exactly are you doing? Are you like putting it into a smoothie? Like, how are you bringing him these fruits that he doesn't really like?
Well, I'm kind of like, do you want to try this? Do you want to try this? Do you want to try this?
So you're a bugaboo.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So anytime that I have something, I always ask if he would like to try it. If he doesn't, if he says no, I try one more time. And then if he says no a second time, then I give it up. But then it's kind of like, I don't want to compare him to children, but there are recommendations that say if you have a child that's a picky eater, it takes 10, 12 exposures to a certain food for them to accept it.
Yeah.
You can still take that same recommendation and apply it to your spouse or apply it to other people in your household. It's all about exposure. So if someone's hungry enough and you offer it enough times, they'll try it. And if they like it, great. You can kind of put that in your memory bank as something healthy that they can have in the future.
Okay. So you're speaking from a woman's point of view now. Yeah. I got some comments, before the show where people were saying that, at least I heard from the men, that they were saying that they're letting their woman choose, they're letting their wife cook, they're not the ones cooking in the house, they're letting their wives lead. So let's just say that these gentlemen want to now eat healthy, but their wife is the one leading the kitchen. How do you help these guys out? I mean, what would you say to them?
Well, that's a hard one.
That is a really hard one. When you're not controlling the food.
When you're not controlling the food, that's hard. When you are controlling the food, you can just, like I was saying earlier, you can just kind of slowly introduce things and take your favorite meals and just make them a bit healthier by using grilled or baked options. But when you're not controlling the food, you hit me with a curveball.
Yeah. Let's come back to that one.
Okay.
I know yesterday you and I were talking a little bit, and there was a comment that came through from a woman who wants to go pescatarian, just like you. Mm-hmm. But her husband is barely on board. He doesn't like seafood or fish or whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. And so, but she wants to be pescatarian, but she's not trying to be overwhelmed in the kitchen or have to hire a chef or really like cook 2 meals. Let's help her out. What does she need to do in that scenario?
So first, I would take note of the meal of and that just reminded me to drink some water too.
Yes, hydrate.
That just reminded me. So first, take note, what was the meal that your spouse said they didn't like? Mm-hmm. Okay. So then, because there's a lot of things at play. It could be time of day. It could be the texture. A lot of people are texture people. It could be the flavor and the seasoning. So make sure you are seasoning your food. I mean, that's a
big deal.
Like the same seasoning that you would put like on fried chicken, like the flour, put that on your fish.
Can you please say that again? I'm telling you, when I tell people, I'm like, listen, if you're gonna do this, number one, you're gonna have to learn how to cook, okay? Because when you start introducing these healthy things, it doesn't have this salty or savory taste or whatever it is that you're used to. Yeah. I'm telling you, just from my personal standpoint, and I hope you agree with this too, but like, okay, if I'm seasoning up mushrooms, if I'm seasoning broccoli, I'm going to use the same seasoning I used to use when I would eat meat. So whether you're a vegetarian, pescatarian, or whether you just want to eat healthier, introduce more vegetables, I'm putting poultry seasoning on my potatoes. I put hamburger seasoning on my food too. I'm like, well, looking at the ingredients, there's no hamburger inside of the hamburger seasoning. So
yeah, because it's unfortunate. Like the healthier food doesn't get as much love in the flavor department. Marinate things. Still use your marinade on your fish. Still use your marinade. Like if you want to get away from red meat, or if you want to just eat more, maybe chicken and fish, chicken and fish, marinate it too.
Yeah.
Just reserve that for steaks or ground beef and things like that. Still season and flavor it like you would anything else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Juan is feeling us. He said he agrees. Season and flavor as well as the way food smells. Definitely has me try new foods I usually not eat. Can we talk about food smells a little bit?
Yeah, I think we mentioned that a little bit ago. So, common misconception about seafood and fish. So, it's not supposed to smell bad. You know what I mean? Fish is not supposed to smell like very, very fishy. If it does, then it's probably gone bad already. You know?
Yeah, see, okay, let me ask you. I know you're not the seafood expert, okay? Like you're not out here catching your own fish and everything. You are a pescatarian. What do you think about cod? Because me and my boo were discussing this last night. How we feel about, and I don't eat fish anymore, but he still does. Cod, it has that what I would call gamey smell, like almost like the ocean.
Yeah.
That's like a turn off for me, but it's still fresh. I mean, how do you feel about cod?
It can stink up a house. That's
okay. I just had to hear it. I hear you say it.
I mean, it can. Cod is weird. I don't know, because I've had it from several different places and it has the same effect. So I have no idea what's up with that. But again, yes, you have to consider your spouse a little bit. You know, is this something they normally eat? Like just piggybacking off what Juan said. Like, is this something that you normally eat? Well, season it like something they do eat. Kind of ease that transition in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and then make sure those are on point too.
What'd you say?
I said, and then make sure those smells are on point too.
Exactly. Yes. And I see that Gran she put a comment too. Hi, Gran. Hey, Gran.
Oh, hey,
Gran. I didn't see it.
Hey, Gran. Got family in the house. Mommy's here too.
Oh, hey, Mom. Okay,
and then
so
Clara came in earlier. Hey, Clara.
I didn't know if I shared it correctly or not.
Okay. Absolutely, you did. So, you guys, for those of you who are watching us, drop us some questions. We did get some questions beforehand and some comments beforehand about this. So if you have some questions or even some topics, some things you want to discuss, some scenarios that happened to you on your journey, drop it in the comments. We want to talk about it. This is a discussion. Okay, so get in here, girlfriends and guy friends. So give us some, okay. Tell us more about, I'm nosy. What's going on in your house?
Okay, so dinner tonight. Because I knew I had to be ready because I knew you were coming with the curveball. So I'm like, all right. So dinner tonight.
I want to know what's on the menu tonight.
On the menu tonight, I'm marinating some salmon, which we both eat.
Okay.
And I use this marinade by Aisha Curry. She's like one of my favorite chefs ever. And she has this apricot jam and soy sauce marinade for her salmon. So it's like salty. So it's like a salty sweet flavor. We tried it. My husband loved it. I loved it. It's great. So that's one of my go-tos. So that's what I'm going to make. And then whatever sides just kind of flow in. So we can either have a salad, we could have roasted potatoes, some rice, whatever. But I am all about damage control when it comes to healthy eating. So what I eat at dinner all depends on what I ate during the day. So that's a little healthy eating tip or kind of like weight loss tip sort of thing. So that's how we eat kind of in this house. So basically for lunch, I had a sandwich and I had a pear, but then we had some birthdays. So I had a cookie and I had 2 cupcakes. Yes.
Hey, I'm not judging.
But I mean, that's life. You don't want to eliminate things. I'm huge on that. So just whatever we're starting with, that's where we're going from. Like my husband would tell you, I pretty much ask him what he ate today, like as soon as I get home. So that might be a little annoying, but I'm just kind of assessing damage control. What do we eat today? Then dinner time is kind of when we sort of make up for it. So like I might have some salmon with some salad tonight, or some salmon with some roasted vegetables tonight. That's what we'll do. But for example, on a dinner, like I typically meal prep for him like during the day. So I might make some grilled chicken or, you know, whatever protein that I might not necessarily eat. So that's when he gets that. That's when he eats that. So then at nighttime, we both eat together.
Okay. So with you eating the cookies and cupcakes or whatever from somebody's birthday, one says you're back. You call it damage control. So because you ate that guided your meal for tonight?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I pretty much start with a protein always. So whether that be fish, me being a pescatarian, or if I'm eating vegetarian, that will be either tofu or some sort of mock meat, maybe like some vegan chicken, or some black beans, or honestly, I mean, it really doesn't matter. So that's what I start with. And then the starch and vegetable is kind of how we did during the day. That's kind of how I frame it. Now it's not
okay. I was going to ask you about that too, because you know how dad is like, oh, you got to have your starch and you got to have your vegetable or whatever. I was going to ask you about the importance of that on a plate. But what I'm hearing you saying is that you had your starch earlier. And so now you're keeping it simple with the protein and the vegetable sort of thing. So are you saying you can spread your plate out throughout the day, or like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, most definitely. You don't necessarily have to have a starch at every single meal. I mean, there are certain health conditions that of course would warrant that, but you don't have to have that. So that was kind of another part of me kind of changing the way that we eat in here, because coming away from those sort of traditional ways of eating, like, for example, a salad. Some people might say, oh, you're eating a salad for dinner. I don't make boring salads. And I don't like it.
Yes.
Like I put wild rice in my salad. I put roasted mushrooms in my salad. I might put roasted potatoes in my salad. Like the point of it is to eat more vegetables. So we might have a salad and we might have some fish, or we might have some other sort of protein at dinner time, and that's fine.
Okay. And you feel all excited about this. Is Demetrius, your husband, is he on board? I mean, is he sneaking a second dinner after dinner or what?
Yes. And that is from a lot of trial. Now, I will admit, there's been times where I've got my little feelings hurt, where he's just like, okay, like he likes it, but he's like, I'm still hungry. And I'm like, so I know what to do next time. I know to add more of this, add more of that, because obviously we're not the same size. I'm 4'11". Yeah. So I need to add more. So it's trial and error and just listening to your spouse. So for example, that other girlfriend who left a comment yesterday or the day before, that's another big one. So you want to still remember that your husband or your significant other, they're not going to eat the same portion size as you. So you may need to add more things. Again, my theme of this is expanding the diet and adding more things to your diet.
Okay.
As long as they're eating more vegetables, that's pretty much the ultimate goal in eating. And just like mommy's saying, with the health benefits, sometimes a health scare will help you to eat healthy. Yeah.
Yes. Talk about that a little bit. Has anything ever brought you guys to that? Or, I mean, even with you working, you know, people with health scares, I mean, do you advise going drastic, or do you give them one simple piece of advice? I mean, what do you do with someone who just experienced something like that?
Well, for someone that just experienced something like that, first, I would let them know that it definitely takes time for a certain way of eating to cause any harmful effects on your health. So it's going to take time for you to adopt healthier eating habits to help correct it. So set the expectation. That's the thing that I start with.
Okay, set the expectation that it's going to be a process.
Yeah, because if you think about any sort of thing that's worth it, any kind of thing that's challenging, I mean, it's going to be a process.
Yeah.
Being a healthy lifestyle is a part of that. That's why they call it a lifestyle. So we haven't personally experienced like any health issues, but have noticed like sometimes we like to go running. As you know, we've kind of been out of the running game for a little bit, but Demetrius is still running. That'll just be harder. Or he'll go to the gym and lift weights and he'll be super tired and want to come home. I remind him, oh, okay, if we eat healthier, you'll have more stamina, you'll have more energy to work out while you're lifting weights.
You're good.
I'm telling you, you always have to tie that stuff back in.
Tie it into, connect it to something that they want.
That they want.
That, bring it together.
So
all right, Lady T is, I'm sorry.
No. I was just
saying just yeah, Lady T is saying, I always find myself wanting something sweet to eat, like moments after eating my meal besides fruit. What's your solution for that?
Okay. So it depends on what is the something that you're craving. So that's what I start with. What is it that you're craving? Is it a cookie? Is it a cupcake?
Okay.
Is it a piece of cake? Because almost anything can be made healthier. Okay. So that's what I would start with. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with having a nighttime routine. I myself, I will take a date. I'll take 2 dates and some herbal tea to me to go to bed at night. So that's something sweet.
Okay, you're talking about the date, the fruit. Okay.
Yeah.
2 dates. You said I'll take 2 dates. I'm like, okay.
Oh, sorry. Two like full date.
Yes. The dried fruit, the date. I'm with you now.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's your nighttime routine. That's part of your nighttime routine.
Yeah. So I'm wanting something sweet. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Okay.
However,
and I heard there was we got some more questions coming in too that I'm going to pop up on the screen in a minute, but I want to ask you about this. I heard there was some other chef that I was listening to that was saying that round out your meal with all of the tastes and it'll make you more satisfied. I don't know if you've ever heard anything like that, like do a bitter, a salty, a sweet, like, kind of have it all, kind of like the Buddha bowl, how you were saying you don't make boring salads. So you might have a corner of sweet potato and a corner of some onions, pickled onions, or for that the
or
sweet and tangy,
for some sweetness. Yes. So treat yourself like you're at a restaurant, even at home.
I love it. I love it.
Feel more satisfied. But it's okay. Just to answer her question, it's okay if you want something sweet at the end of the night. But of course, fruit is going to be great. Granola and Greek yogurt is another good. Like if you eat dairy, Greek yogurt and some granola is another good sweet treat. But at night, if it's something like, let's say, like if it's something really, really sweet, try to have a little source of protein with it, because that's a little trick about protein. It helps, along with fiber, it helps slow down your blood sugar spiking. So that is what can cause a whole host of other issues. So always have like a little piece of, like, for example, if you like, let me think of something. I'm just going to give you an example that I can think of. Like basically if you have like some cranberries, dried cranberries or craisins, have that with a little piece of cheese for some protein. That will help make you feel more satisfied. And then like, okay, I had something sweet. Or if you just have to have a certain thing, I'm all about addressing a craving when it happens.
Yeah.
The more that you deny a craving, the bigger and bigger and bigger it gets.
It just grows, and then you have to have it, and then you're like,
So I'm a living, breathing example of that with my cupcakes and cookies that I had at work today. I've been looking at them since Tuesday, and I really wanted them, and I didn't get them on Tuesday. So I had 2 today. So don't do what I did. Just right there. take care of it, and move on.
Yeah. All right, we got some more comments. Mommy's coming in here. Most people are afraid to eat healthy because they think it will not taste good. I think that goes right back to the point that we were talking about before with seasoning, right?
Yeah. And I actually have a website. Can I like do that in here?
Mom, you can be our moderator today, Mom. Put this website in the comments, please, so we can post it on here.
It's called, and I will say I cannot stand the name of the website, but it's called skinnytaste.com.
I'll pop it on here real quick.
The Pinterest of healthy recipes. So I recommend this website to my patients who want to try to eat healthier but want to make sure it tastes good. So I've tried recipes myself on this site. It's, first of all, the pictures are just beautiful. They encourage you to make the food, but they flavor it and season it so well, and they have chefs that submit their recipes that encourage you to eat better, that encourage you to eat things that you wouldn't normally try.
Okay, I like that. Everybody got that? I was able to pop it on the screen. It's skinnytaste.com. Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. So yeah, I really find that to be a big, huge thing. Going back to this comment that people are thinking that healthy food doesn't taste good. And I will admit I've had healthy food that doesn't taste good.
Right? So have I.
Yes. I'm not gonna call anybody out or say where I had it, but it was some unseasoned Brussels sprouts. And I love Brussels sprouts. They were just, I don't know whether they were microwaved or something, but it's the seasoning and the way you cook it. Because I like to put mine in the oven.
Right.
You know, so that's really a big deal, you know, for somebody, you know, who likes to eat. Hello, food tastes good. So can we just keep the seasoning in there, please?
Yeah, and I mean, I would just encourage everyone to, just like we binge watch Netflix and all these other shows, pop on some cooking shows.
Oh my God!
Like,
yes,
to watching Food Network from time to time, although the shows that they have on there now are they cook a little bit less. There's more game show style stuff. But I mean, YouTube is full of people that are cooking on there. I mean, just see what's out there and watch things with your spouse.
Yeah.
With them. And he'll be like, oh yeah, babe, that looks good. Yeah.
like, taking notes. I'm gonna make that. I have like a little recipe book now because I used to get Green Chef and everything, and I saved the cards, like the recipe cards, all into a binder. So I'm like, here, flip through this. I know I can make every single thing in here. I know I like every single thing in here. So what in here is appealing to you? And you know what our motto is, like our family motto. I'll start it and then I'll let you finish it. And I know you know this. Okay, I'm putting you on the spot, but I know you know it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
If you can read,
oh, you can cook.
Okay.
If you can read, you can cook. Yes.
You can read, you can cook. Okay, just follow some directions, please. Goodness.
Okay,
Juan.
What are you talking about now?
Thank you, Juan Santiago. I've had tofu that tasted like no food, which had me wanting to avoid tofu altogether. Do you eat tofu, Kayla?
You know, I got away from it a little bit. I used to eat it a lot, but for some reason, I mean, I'll eat it if I'm out, if I'm at like a vegetarian restaurant, or if I'm at a good restaurant that flavors it really well and that's special. But a lot of people don't know tofu doesn't have any taste.
It's like eggs.
It tastes like anything. And guess what? So does chicken, so does beef, and so does every other meat.
Wait a minute. Okay.
When's the last time that you had a chicken breast or a piece of chicken and put no seasoning on it or put nothing on it? What does it taste like?
Rubber.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since you and I have had chicken, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's my memory, okay? I mean, it doesn't taste like much.
I don't want to talk about the last time I accidentally had meat in that experience. So yeah, it's
No,
been a
remember
while.
what I told you when I accidentally had that chicken and I was throwing
I
up.
felt so bad for you, Kayla. I felt so, but we take you back there.
But anyway,
Portia, look, a lot of family in the house. Hey, Portia.
hey, Portia. But
Says
wait,
she
I
loves.
do want to address the tofu thing because
Yes, let's go
tofu
back to
is
tofu.
it is a great source of protein that's actually been used for years and years and years in Chinese food restaurants and Japanese food restaurants to help bulk their food. And the little soup you get at the hibachi places that has always had tofu in it. So tofu doesn't have its own, it's like it doesn't have a flavor on its own. So you have to doctor it up. You have to marinate it. I suggest people to try tofu from like a restaurant first.
Yeah.
Vegetarian
Yeah.
spot or a Chinese food spot or some sort of Asian cooking to start.
Yeah.
Then make it at home.
I like the extra firm tofu instead of the silken kind. You know, it's too runny or soft. I like it to have that, like Juan said, SpongeBob. He said it was like eating SpongeBob, but I like it to have that eggy, spongy texture so
Yeah.
that it's like eggs and you kind of season it up. You put a little turmeric in and give it a little yellow tint and kind of make it almost like scrambled eggs or something like that. But you know what you just made me think of? Remember that one time we were talking about tofu and whether it's bad or good? Can we please revisit that conversation?
Wait, what do you mean bad or good?
We were talking about whether tofu was bad for you and if it was going to give you cancer or whatever. Remember we were having that discussion and we were talking about I know it was a really complicated conversation where we were talking about isolates and stuff like that, so we don't have to go that deep.
Yeah.
But can you just give your personal opinion on whether or not people should be, especially for people who are trying to be vegan or vegetarian, who are trying to introduce that protein into their diet? You know, should they be eating tofu? How often should they be eating tofu? You know, should you be limiting yourself?
So the reason behind that questioning is because it's pretty much centered around breast cancer. So with breast cancer, there's some research out there that shows that it's certain types of estrogen-driven breast cancers, which I'm not an oncologist, so I can't speak on the exact types, but certain estrogen, which is the female hormone, type of breast cancers, there's those same hormones are found in some soy protein isolates. So that's why the recommendation is for you to limit your intake of soy products, not full tofu, which is a soy product.
Okay.
So that's why, and this is only if you have a personal history of this specific type of estrogen-based breast cancer. So you'd have to ask your doctor about that. You'd have to do a little bit more research into that. But the research just for the general public is that there's no issues with tofu. There's especially no issues with tofu and things like mock meats that are made from soy.
Yeah.
We do have that soy protein isolate that has some of those estrogen hormones in them, but again, I mean, it's for the general public. There's no reason to avoid it. If you have a personal history of breast cancer, if you have a family history, a strong family history of it, then I would consult with your doctor about that. But no reason to be afraid of tofu.
Okay, because you know, when I was starting to read labels, all of these things were so confusing to me, like soy protein isolates and what is soy lecithin or however you pronounce that little different thing. So how do you keep from getting overwhelmed with figuring out ingredients when you're trying to be more healthy?
Well, Oh, Portia says, I love food shows at night. Me and Chad watch YouTube. Yeah. Watch it with your boo to like see what you guys like. Yeah, that's great. I do that too. Reading labels. So, common misconception that you have to be able to pronounce all things on a nutrition label for it to be healthy. Well, yes, I understand that way of thinking. And it's good, it's fine. But remember that there are some natural vitamins, minerals, and ingredients that have chemical names as well as their regular name. So I always use vitamin E as an example. So vitamin E, okay, no one's gonna bat an eye at that, right? But on a nutrition label, it's usually put as tocopherol, TOCOPHEROL or something like that.
I did not know that.
And some people be like, oh my God, I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Well, I don't want no tocopherol in my food.
Just research. And when you are researching, avoid blogs and like WebMD type things and look up research articles, or like a nice rule of thumb that I do when I myself am looking up something that I want to be from a reputable source, I Google it and then put dietitian at the end, or I Google it and then put nutrition at the end. And then 9 times out of 10, it will get you to a site that is made by someone who knows what they're talking about.
Okay.
Always look at the source.
Now, girl, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to be looking at any scholarly journals when I'm trying to look at my food. So talk about some brands that you trust, or maybe just cook with whole ingredients. I mean, give me the fast scoop on that, because I'm not about to be Googling at the grocery store.
Well, I mean, what sorts of things do you think that people are looking at that they want to, I mean, okay. Here is like the quick and dirty thing on a nutrition label. Whenever you're trying to figure out if something is healthy or not, you look at the nutrition label and you're going to look at a couple things. First thing is the total calories per serving. Look at the serving, because it'll say, for example, this is 70 calories, but it's 70 calories for 2 pieces and you normally eat 10 pieces. Well, that's not very
yeah.
So always look at the serving size and the total calories. Total fat, a good rule of thumb, is single digit. That's what I tell all my patients.
Okay.
Under total fats, if it's under 10 grams, it's a low fat item. It's cool. For carbohydrates, anything under 28 grams of carbohydrates is considered low carb.
Okay.
So those are that I look for. Now, I encourage you to shop on the outer perimeter of the grocery store, like where the Whole Foods are, the frozen section, and then get a couple snacks here and there. But I mean, you know, take a look at the sugars too. Like if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to buy things for your children, you don't want to have things that are too high in sugar, because they're never going to want to eat anything else, you know? Their little palates are so brand new. If you give them, that's why a lot of pediatric dietitians will recommend you introduce vegetables before you introduce fruits, because fruits are really, really sweet and the kid is not going to want to eat vegetables. That's just.
Oh, okay. Okay. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
All right. We got another question coming.
Yeah.
No, you can finish up your statement. I'll pop it on the screen when you're done.
So yeah, that's just a couple of things that I look for on a nutrition label. But for the most part, trying to buy things that are just whole food. You get your protein, you have your starch, you have your vegetable. Just keep it simple. That's the easiest way to go about it.
Okay. All right. Lady T says, speaking of, please explain no sugar versus sweetened.
Oh, okay. So no sugar versus unsweetened. So unsweetened would be no added sugar. So for example, applesauce usually comes unsweetened or just regular. Apples have their own natural sweeteners in them. So either way, if you get unsweetened applesauce, for example, or regular, it's going to have sugar. Unsweetened means no added sugar.
Okay.
Sugar or sugar-free will really mean no sugar. But you always have to pay attention, because if they're taking away sugar, they're usually adding something else. So sometimes, like I said, remember the single-digit total fat rule, like just under 10 grams if you can. And sometimes they'll add sugar alcohols. You'll see that on the back of a nutrition label. Basically, that's 0-calorie sweetener, like Splenda or any of those. So those are fine. Those don't have any calories. Sometimes in my GI world, they cause GI symptoms if you eat too much of it, like if you chew too much chewing gum or something like that.
And what is GI?
Oh, gastrointestinal. So I work
the stomach.
Yeah. So I work in a digestive health clinic as their dietitian. So I see a lot of people with different sort of digestive health issues. So sometimes that can bother you if you have irritable bowel syndrome or any kind of digestive health disorders. So that's basically the gist of no sugar versus unsweetened. I hope that answered your question.
Is any one of them better, sugar versus unsweetened versus different sweeteners added?
Unsweetened is always better.
Okay.
Always better. I remember when I was little, you would always get like unsweet tea. And I was like, oh my God, like you were like, honestly, you were like the nutrition, like health pioneer, like before anybody thought it off. But like you would always get unsweet tea. And I was just like, what? Like, why not get sweet tea? But even like, I mean, we're in the South now.
Yeah.
So a lot of my patients drink sweet tea, but the fact of the matter is you still feel like you're drinking sweet tea if you add your own sugar. You want to have the most control over your food. So that's what I tell all my patients. Get the no sugar, get the unsweetened, get the bland, whatever, and then you control it. Because you're not going to add the amount of sodium. You're not going to add the amount of sugar that the companies will.
Did you see that thing where on TV or across social media, anything where they were showing that bottle of ketchup and they were like, just in case you didn't know, this is how much sugar is in your bottle of ketchup?
Yeah.
And it was like half the bottle.
Yeah. So a lot of dietitians like doing the rethink your drink. That's like that's our little sideshow trick that we like to do. And we have like a little table that's set up. And we'll have different Coke bottles or different sodas and things like that. And instead of filling it with Coke, we'll fill it with the amount of sugar that's in there.
Oh my God.
It is definitely eye-opening. It's definitely eye-opening.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm not a fan of sodas. And I'm not a fan of sweetened beverages, but I am a fan of getting unsweet tea when you're ordering out and asking for a couple of packs of sugar and adding it in yourself. Again, you're still not going to add the amount that.
See, I was always taught that was ghetto. Like if you, I don't know. Yes.
No.
Yes, especially like own lemonade at the table. Like if you ask for a glass of water and like, hey, can you bring me some lemons and some sugar too? So I mean, in essence, you're making your own lemonade, or like you said, you're making your own sweet tea. So you're saying that's actually a good thing to do.
That is a good thing to do for your health. Yes.
Yeah.
The lemons, that's taking it a step up. But yes, that's going to be a better option. Yes. What else? I thought about something else with the grocery store. We were talking about it, but now
I know you were saying like shop the perimeter and do frozen stuff and Whole Foods and everything. And
yeah, so just thinking about labels, just because I'm pretty passionate about labels, because I hate that they lie. They are allowed to lie. So, okay, you know what? I'm so done with.
I know you're looking at Juan's comment. Let me pop it up here for everyone to see.
I can't.
Juan said, if you ask with a British accent, it's not ghetto. See, may I have some lemons with my water? How's that, Juan? May I have lemons and sugar as well? Let's get back to labels. So you said you're very
this,
passionate about labels.
yes, because basically, if you look at the front of any food, you can just say it's a lie. Don't look at the front. The front means nothing.
Don't tell me this, please.
If something says all natural, that means absolutely nothing. You know, like if something means organic, that means something. That means
okay.
But you know, non-GMO, like a lot of these different taglines, you have to be careful because it can give you the assumption that it's healthy, but then you turn around and look at the nutrition label and it'll be 25 grams of fat. It'll be really high in fat. It'll be very high in calorie, very high in sodium, very high in sugar. So you always have to check the label because on the label, they're not allowed to lie. Like for example, lean cuisines or healthy choice.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of got the game on lock when it comes to quick and easy frozen dinners. And
yeah.
It looks very healthy, but they are packed with sodium.
Oh my God.
You know, if you have high blood pressure, if you have a family history of high blood pressure, any sort of cardiac issues, that's not going to be the best choice. You know?
So they don't need to eat those frozen meals because it's not necessarily healthy for them. They're using healthy foods, but I guess that's the preservative, putting a ton of sugar or salt or whatever in it.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to scare anyone whatsoever. I'm just saying take charge of your health and don't just believe what you see on the front of the package. That's all.
Yeah. Because you could have something that says all natural, but it's all natural fat.
Yeah.
All natural sugar.
Anybody can put a label. Anyone can put a label on anything. I mean, they can say whatever they want on the front.
The FDA doesn't regulate that?
Not the front. The front is marketing.
Oh.
The nutrition label is what matters.
Okay.
So I don't want to turn the whole show into nutrition labels, but just pay attention.
I know. We're supposed to be talking about same house, different diets.
Okay, so let me just quickly recap.
Yes.
If you're joining us, we were talking about same house, different diets. Here's some things that I do in my home, being a dietitian, and my husband is not, basically. So my number one example was lead by example. So you are taking charge of your health. You decided to go on a health journey. Remember why you started it and don't waver from that. Because everyone's kind of, everyone in your household is watching the moves that you make. So act accordingly. If you are the main cook in the house, that's a blessing and a curse because you're going to be cooking, but you have total control over what you are eating. So use that to your advantage. Introducing different fruits and vegetables as snacks, like do like a carrot ranch dip, celery ranch dip, or hummus and pita bread, or different fruits or different vegetables or cucumbers or whatever. Just try different things and bring them in your house and see if people like it. With kids, if they see you eating it, they should want to eat it too. And when you're cooking meals, you don't necessarily have to cook a whole separate meal for yourself, but just take the meal that you would normally have and make it healthier by using grilled chicken or baked chicken instead of fried or instead of shallow fried, because even shallow fried has those oils that are soaking into the meat. Flavors and seasoning, that's everything. Don't neglect the vegetables and not season them properly because they're vegetables. They need more flavor and more seasoning than other things. So still treat your vegetables well, basically. A restaurant, a really good one wouldn't just serve you unseasoned vegetables. They would have like a potatoes au gratin and have like some cheese with sliced potatoes and garlic and onion and parsley and all the good stuff. So do that at home. If your husband is the one that cooks, or if you're not the one that cooks at home, just kind of be vocal in the things that you like. Honey, boo, babe, whatever you call yourself. I am wanting to feel better talk about the health benefits. They'll understand. I want to eat better. I want to look better. I want to be able to run around with our kids. I want to go on a walk longer. I want to be able to do this, that. And make suggestions and offer help. Because the worst thing that you could do if you're not the cook is make a bunch of demands and not want to help. So, so I'm a little triggered by that. So you can jump in and help and be a sous chef. Make it a cute date night. Then focus on expanding the diet, not restricting and say you can't eat this, you can't eat that. Let's try things. So open it up. And then focus on health benefits whenever you're trying to help someone. Mommy said, stop talking about dad. When you're trying to help convince someone to change behavior, they have to understand why. Some people can operate like that and be like, okay, I'm told to do this and need to do this because I know it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But other people are like, well, why? So, hey, remember how you said that, you know, you bench pressed 215 and you wanted to do 5 reps and you did 4 and you don't know why? Hey, we did.
Bam.
It up.
Okay. I like that. I like that. And I like how you and I were talking before and we were just saying, like, how bad do you really want it? You know, you got to remember that too.
Yeah. And don't let anyone throw you off.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone throw you off. Just like I said, how bad do you want it? Remember why you started the journey and just push through. Use that website for healthy recipe inspiration. Skinny Taste.
Oh, yes. Yes. Let's get that back up here. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be saying KaylaHopkinsDietitian.com one day. But for now, that's a great recipe website that I trust. And that's
yes. We got some more comments coming in here. You're doing such an awesome job, like explaining this and really breaking it down. You know what I mean? So, all right. So Juan is saying, with the ranch sauce and other sauces, is there a preference on which one to use? You got a favorite sauce or a best sauce or a healthiest sauce or dressing?
Well, for ranch, I mean, honestly, I just like, I like just the regular, like, what is it? Nature Valley or whatever.
Hidden Valley, I think it is, or something.
I mean, because for the ranch example, that's to get you to eat more vegetables. So you want to like whatever ranch you're using. So it's not really about the ranch. It's about you're eating more vegetables and you're dipping it in. Or you're eating a salad that the ranch is on top of and you're eating more vegetables. So the brand doesn't matter necessarily as much, but a healthier brand of most dressings is Annie's. I really like Annie's.
Oh, I love Annie's
thing. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to go really, really healthy, you can do plain Greek yogurt and use the ranch seasoning pack.
Oh.
High protein ranch dip. The plain Greek yogurt doesn't have any flavor. Then you add the ranch seasoning dip. That could be a high protein ranch dip. That's like my top level. I'm trying to be very, very healthy on ranch. Otherwise, just eat whatever ranch.
Otherwise, ranch is just ranch.
Yeah.
Exactly. Juan is saying shots fired, and our mom is saying stop talking about dad. I think she was talking about when we were saying if you want to help or something like that, making suggestions, or I'm not sure what she was talking about.
Yeah, I think so too. I was honestly talking about myself too. Because, yeah, like in my house, I'm the one that cooks. So it's just like, okay, you have different preferences or suggestions. All right,
come on over here and cook it.
or just moral support. Be in the kitchen with me. You know, that type of thing. But either way, I mean, it's fine. About not.
So Juan said, he was saying shots fired earlier about not cooking the food.
Yeah. So that's why it's like a double-edged sword. Like if you are the cook, you have to deal with the frustrations and the kind of pressure of being the one that makes the good decisions.
Yeah.
Being the only one potentially for a little bit that makes the good decisions. If you're not the cook, you have to deal with the temptation of the cook, maybe not necessarily cooking things that are healthy or that you want to eat.
Yeah.
So neither one is very easy.
You know, one of my struggles is like I'm the main person who's cooking all the time too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I want to eat something unhealthy or I want to indulge, I'll find a reason why, you know. But if I'm looking at something that other people are making, I'm looking at them like, that's not the best decision. Even though like I made a good reason for my decision, but I'm looking like you probably shouldn't be eating that.
Well, what did we talk about yesterday? You can't demonize any food.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
demonize the food, especially when you're trying to get your friend, your spouse, your boyfriend, your husband, or anyone, your wife, your girlfriend, your friend,
Yeah. Yeah.
eat better. You can't say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you would ever eat." Like in North Carolina, a lot of my patients eat liver mush, which I've
Ooh.
never had myself, but I think it's just like a mashup of pork,
Liver?
basically, and they slice it and they have it on a sandwich or whatever. I'm not going to tell my patient, "Oh my God, I can't believe you eat that." We're going to look at the label together. We're going to talk about portion sizing it. And we're going to make sure that whatever the sandwich is, you have some nice lettuce, maybe some tomato, maybe use whole wheat bread. Like meet them where they are.
Yeah. Yeah. You're good. You're better than me because I'd be like, liver mush. It doesn't even sound good. And then spreading it on something, I imagine like a brown spread, a brown meaty spread out of some
no, it is
can or something. You know what? I really can't hate because I used to eat Spam. And I saw online recently somebody was making vegan Spam, and baby, I wanted it.
Spam. I've never had Spam.
I mean, not Spam. I'm sorry, Scrapple. Scrapple.
So that's what liver mush is.
It is?
When you Google liver mush, Scrapple.
Okay.
To it. So yeah, you hate that. Why are you talking stuff?
I'm gonna look up because I'm so talking stuff. I want to see Scrapple versus liver mush. Let's see what the difference is. The biggest difference between liver mush and Scrapple comes down to their ingredients. Liver mush, as the name describes, contains liver and other pork scraps, while Scrapple, listen to the name Scrapple is made using any available pork scraps and does not always contain liver. So liver mush gotta have liver. Scrapple got the whole shebang, baby.
So at least with liver mush, you're getting some vitamins.
Scrapple, you getting what you get.
Yeah. But that's something that I had to learn along the way. You know, you can't bring your own personal biases into any situation, especially as a dietitian and when you're trying to help your spouse eat better. You just can't.
Juan's on fire tonight, the ghetto dietitian. Listen, Juan, just because I don't have the credentials.
Because who would you rather see? Who would you rather have an appointment with to eat better? Someone who's going to tell you to just eat, you know, just stuff that you don't like. A spinach leaf there, a piece of seeded bread there, or someone who's going to say, "Okay, what do you like? Let's make it."
Yeah. You taught me that too. You taught me that about meeting people where they are. And you taught me like everybody's diet is not, you know, cookie cutter and one and the same. People have different health issues that they're dealing with. And, you know, I might say, "Oh my gosh, kale is so great. Everybody needs to eat kale." And somebody else may be like, "Well, for this particular person's ailment, they can't eat too much vitamin K or whatever it is, or whatever is okay."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So you know what's so funny right now? Look at this comment. Our mother, time's up. Mom, We're not on any time constraints here. We're just enjoying conversation.
Okay, so I'm glad that it doesn't like cut us off or anything.
No, it's not cutting us off. We're just talking. Thank you,
Oh,
Lady T. Lady T says great
oh,
presentation.
thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it so, so much. Listen, you guys, if you have any, because we are wrapping up, Mom. You know what? Well, you gotta love our mom.
You did say that she was gonna be the referee.
Yes, I did say she was going to be our moderator. And for those of you who don't know us, our mom is like our triplet. It's the three of us. Okay. So we're always doing something together. We can't be without each other. But if you guys have last minute questions, go ahead and pop them into the comments. This is our lovely guest, Mrs. Kayla Hopkins, RD. She is a clinical dietitian licensed by the state board, right? In the state of North Carolina.
Yes.
Yes, taking care of everyone's nutritional needs and gastrointestinal issues over there in North Carolina. We appreciate you. We salute you for everything you do every day, going out there and risking your lives in the medical field. We appreciate that, seriously.
Oh, thank you.
What else we got? Oh, okay, thank you, Juan. We get a lot of compliments. Juan says he loves our mom. Oh, you want to be up for adoption? I don't know. It's just us gals, Juan. the guys are the hubs and the boyfriends and the sons and everything. So
yes.
Oh my goodness. So that's it. Listen, we gotta talk more offline, like backstage more. Make sure I got my nutrition in check and talk about talk about my son's nutrition now that he's this track superstar and everything. You know, I rely on you for that.
Yeah.
And helping us stay hydrated. We've been using some of your recommendations and everything. So yes, we have.
Okay.
Yes, we have. You're rubbing off on your sister and pretty much everybody that you come in contact with. But I really appreciate you sharing like exactly what's going on in your household, because it's important for people to see you as a regular person and that they can do it too. And really that they shouldn't be focused on a diet, but just a whole entire lifestyle change and how they're going to make this work forever and ever and ever as it goes on. I like some of the things that you said, like, that you ate cupcakes today, because it's like, hello, this is life. And if you're doing this forever, you're going to be running into that. So I appreciate you being candid.
And a big part of that is more often than not. I like to say more often than not a lot to my patients, to mommy, to my mother-in-law. I tell her that too, more often than not. What are you doing more often than not? Because that's what matters.
Yeah.
You have a getaway and you go out of town and you eat a bunch of stuff and you enjoy and you drink wine and you have all this fun and do whatever. Well, that's 2 days out of a 7-day week. More often than not, you're making healthy choices.
That's true. And you don't have to like overthink it.
Yeah. Eliminate the pool, eliminate all of that stuff, because it's about what are you doing more often than not. And if that's making healthy choices, trying to get out and walk more, trying to just be a healthier person, kind of mind, body, and spirit, you'll be fine.
Yeah. That's what mommy did to get her body all slim and trim at 65, like she calls it sexy-5. Like her more often than not routine is so on point. She's basically eating raw till 4, like a salad and fruit and some nuts. And then, maybe, a nice full dinner and not really worrying about it on the weekend. So that's like a really good example to live by, that more often than not.
Yeah.
I love that. So tell everybody where they can find you after this.
Oh, okay.
Where can we find you?
So I have 2 Instagram pages. The first one is The Curly Herbivore. That's where I post all food. So that's any recipe that I come up with and any cool food that I try around Charlotte, where I live. That's my kind of personal, casual Instagram page for my food and my cooking. Excuse me. Then I have
E.
Then
Is
I have
that right?
That is right. Yes, thank
Okay.
you. So that's like my food page where I post recipes, and sometimes I do food videos and stuff like that on IGTV. My other page is my more professional Instagram page that is called Kayla Hopkins RD, just very simply like that on Instagram. So that is more focused on nutrition information and research and things that are more towards gastrointestinal health. So if you are someone that suffers with acid reflux, if you're someone who suffers with constipation, sometimes diarrhea, like we get deep over there because that's my daily.
Yeah.
Working in a digestive health office, that's what we talk about all the time. What are your bowel habits like? Like I hear that all day long. And one of my favorite things is when someone tells me they're constipated, because I'm like, I know just the thing. So that's where more of the medical type research and different recommendations that I give on that page.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I gotta have you on here again. You guys, even if you're watching this recorded version, please comment below and let us know what else you want to know about from Kayla. By default, she's your girlfriend because she's one of my very best girlfriends. She's my sister, okay? So let's get all the information she can. Let's live till 117. Let's all be healthy and happy and thriving.
Yeah.
And until next time, you guys, peace and blessings. I love you guys. Thank you, Kayla.
Of course. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Bye.